Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Welcome back to the show where we interview the nation's leading real estate entrepreneurs. I've got a special treat for you guys today. Welcome back if you're joining us for a second, third, or 100th time, and welcome if it's your first time. This is about to be a regular on your podcast docket. I've got Amy Schaal in the house, and we are going to be talking all things real estate today. Amy and her partner David have a very colorful background, I would say, in all different types of business ventures, and primarily have been real estate investors for over the last 10 years, but they're also in restaurants, commercial properties, Airbnbs, and we're going to go all over today. So just remember, before we get started, at Investor Fuel, we help real estate investors, service providers, and real estate entrepreneurs 2 to 5x their businesses, which allows them to build the businesses they've always wanted, to allow them to live the lives they've always dreamed of. With that being said, Amy, welcome to the show today.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
I know. You bet. Did I get your last name right? It is Schaal, right?
Yep. That's
sweet.
Yeah, perfect.
Perfect. All right. I realized as soon as I hit record, I was like, I should ask if I'm going to pronounce this right or not, but we rolled with it. So, Amy, tell us a little bit, for our listeners' sake, give us a little bit of background on you and how you got here.
Yeah, so I actually have a degree in math, which is not at all real estate related, but I used to work in the healthcare industry in data analytics and statistics, and just got into real estate investing because initially had a house that I thought my mom could live in, so rented it out before my mom was ready to move into it, and that kind of started the bug. Since then, David and my partner David and I have invested in various properties throughout Wisconsin, and I've taken over managing all of the real estate. He manages all of the restaurants, and he also is a rock star. So he manages all of the rock star stuff. But and for investing for me, I'm always curious. I'm a constant learner. So whatever books, podcasts, courses, master classes I can take on any of that, I do. So that's kind of how I got here.
That's awesome. Now, so where are you at now with your portfolio? Let's talk about some of the properties that you've got, because you're super passionate about where you're at in Wisconsin being a real big tourist zone during the summer times. And so you've got kind of a blend of your real estate on top of the businesses that you all own. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about what you guys are excited about investing in, what you see for the future, and let's just roll from there.
Yeah, for sure. So I'll just start. Our first short-term investment property was in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. So we live just outside of Lake Geneva in a cute little town called Williams Bay, Wisconsin. I'm from Wisconsin. I love Wisconsin. I think it's the best state. I went to college in DC, but I love Wisconsin. So kind of bringing tourists into the places that we love has always been something that's important important to us. But our first investment was in Lake Geneva.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
There is a pizza restaurant that was opened. It was completely rehabbed, and it was about 4 years ago that there was a building. It used to be a cabinet shop and a hairdressing studio. So it was zoned commercial, and we just decided to give that a shot and open an Airbnb. And it was, at first we had a property manager. I was working, and I decided that I could take it over and learn about short-term rentals. At that point, I had a couple of long-term rentals in Racine, Wisconsin, which is another town, which I'll get into, that I love. But we started here. It was zone commercial and really became successful. And one of the things that really, when we opened our first short-term rental, we decided it's very important to, number one, source as much as possible from the local community, furniture, decor, any of that is really important for us to kind of infuse whatever's happening locally into that space. So that is called the Lighthouse of Lake Geneva. It has a really big parking spot. You walk in, it's coastal modern, it's beautiful, it's amazing. From there, we decided to, at that point, there was a restaurant in Minocqua, Wisconsin, which is 4 hours north. It's the Northwoods. And there was a restaurant there. We bought another building that it was an old hotel, and it needed a lot of rehab. So we made 4 upper units. One is for our J1 visa workers who were working at the restaurant at the time, and then 3 short-term rentals. And then on the first floor, there are 3 commercial units. So we had a big investment in Minocqua, and then those started to really do well. All the short-term rentals there were doing well, except the restaurant wasn't doing well at all. So we decided to close the restaurant, put that gorgeous building on the market, and it just wasn't selling. It wasn't, people, there were some lower offers, but this building, it was built by the Masons. It's a historic building. It is at the end of town, right on the lake. Anybody who's been to the Northwoods, there's crazy Northwoods magic. You see pine trees, bald eagles, river otters. It's the most beautiful place. And we decided that leaving a building like that's so beautiful, really a pillar of the town, we can change the dynamic of a town based on what we do with this building. If we let it sit, if we let it, kind of come overgrow with weeds, or, have some broken windows, or, just kind of let people park and do whatever there. What does that, Minocqua was a very small island city with a, really great downtown, but there's, we have a responsibility where we can change this city into a beautiful destination place. So we decided to, we also have this line, fortune favors the bold. So we decided to just go for it and open a separate club on the first floor, and the craziest lodge you've ever seen in your life on the second floor. We made that decision. I think it was 2 years ago. We were talking at home and over a bottle of wine, and then we decided to drive up the next day, and we sat and looked over the lake, the beautiful lake, and decided, let's do this.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency. It's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
So simultaneously, I always have had a love for A-frames, and there was an A-frame that came on the market in Lake Geneva, so we bought that. And so simultaneously, we were opening a supper club, this crazy lodge, an A-frame, and then a Mexican restaurant in Kenosha, Wisconsin. So we kind of had all these things, and I forgot to mention that. As I mentioned before, I have a love for the city of Racine, Wisconsin. That's another place we wanted to invest. We feel like that downtown needed some love, so we bought a building there where there's 2 short-term rentals on the top, and then one restaurant on the first floor, which is a beautiful restaurant. It's not one that we operate, but it's a delicious, amazing restaurant. So the past year, we've been kind of pouring a lot into this Northwoods Lodge, into the A-frame in Lake Geneva, and then the Mexican restaurant in Kenosha and the supper club in Minocqua. And now the Mexican restaurant is open, the A-frame is open, and the lodge is open, and the supper club is going to open next week. So we're at this really exciting point where, all of the big investments, as investors, I think certainly there's times, there's times throughout the month where you're like, oh my gosh, I feel like I don't have any money. Like, where's it all going? And it's that scary moment. But when all of your dreams and passion are coming together and things are opening and people are getting excited and you're seeing a change of dynamics and areas, it's really exciting. So that's kind of where we're at now.
So how did this all start? I mean, David's got a background in music. You've got a background in stats and math and working in healthcare. And now you guys are just full-fledged real estate entrepreneurs, business operators, the whole 9 yards. Where did this all begin? Like, was there this conversation of like, maybe we should do this, or where did all this passion come from?
So David and I are, I would say our brains are constantly going. Like we are those curious rabbit hole people where, it's so funny because so he went down the rabbit hole for Neapolitan pizza. And with every single Airbnb that we have, I developed computer coding apps for each of the places. And when I'm telling you, I developed these apps, they're the most ridiculous things. I have like, which Northwoods animal are you quizzes, like personality quizzes. We're the type of people who just have so much passion and fire, and we're so curious that it's just, I actually, for me, it started, I always actually had a love of A-frames and tiny houses. And I drove past, this street in Wisconsin, and there was a hunting shack for sale. And it was like $5,000. And I looked at that and I was like, I bet I could make that the coolest little tiny house ever in the world. I'm going to just pull over and buy this hunting shack. And I did. That hunting shack is not the coolest little tiny house in the world. In fact, I sold it to somebody else. But we're very visionary. And so when we sit together and we talk about things, we talk about. I think that for him, he's really excited about music and restaurant stuff. But I just have a real passion for hospitality, and what we both do. But also, I love to create surprise and delight moments in the places that we operate. And long-term rentals, you can't really do the same. I mean, we have some, and I feel like we're great landlords. We try, I certainly try to always make sure people are okay.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
But in Airbnbs, I think there's two things. You can show off your personality, and you can also really make a cool experience for the guests. One of the other things you talked about is like what's in the future for you guys. This year, again, the past year, it was 2 restaurants and 2 pretty big Airbnbs. The rest of this year, we're planning on mushrooming kind of the Airbnbs that we have. And then the next year is when we have some really exciting investment ideas. We're always thinking ahead, always thinking down the line, but mushrooming, for the A-frame, it's amazing how successful this little A-frame is. And we always look for what can make something different. So this A-frame, gosh, I just love them. I feel like I don't like to sleep in tents, but I like the idea of sleeping in tents. So an A-frame kind of reminds me of that. But it's really amazing. It's tucked back in the woods in Lake Geneva, which you don't even think there's woods in Lake Geneva, but and then you can see a lake view. It's far away, but we have a hot tub on the deck, a little 2-person hot tub on the deck. We're going to add, and so the way we're planning on mushrooming that is we're adding a sauna and a cold plunge and kind of creating like a little wellness escape. That A-frame is called the Cozy Cardinal. When we bought it, it was gray. I love infusing a piece of myself or a piece of my history in anything that we do. So the Cozy Cardinal, my mom passed away during COVID, and she always had cardinals visiting her window, and she lived with me, and I love the idea of like a pop of color in the darkest of winters. That's kind of how I view cardinals. So that building, our A-frame, was kind of done in that kind of spirit of love. So we painted it red, trim is black, and there's a beautiful cardinal mural right in the loft area. And it's so special. There's deer that kind of come in and visit, and then there's a peacock that escaped from a farm, a peacock farm, and joined the turkey club and go like gallivants around this A-frame with a group of turkeys. It's the most magical place. It's just crazy. So we want to do that. And then in Minocqua, we're planning on mushrooming by building winter domes. That we have the lodge there, and it's been amazing. We also want to start thinking about doing weddings, micro weddings or larger weddings there next year. This year. Oh, and then we're also adding a boat slip for 12. So currently there's 4, but we're expanding it to 12. Again, that brings a lot more traffic into the downtown Minocqua community because people can park their boats and then just walk to all of the shops right from our spot. So for the next year, I don't think we're gonna build anything, but check with me in November because that's usually when we get a little bored and decide to go a little crazier. So we'll see.
So let me ask you this, because this is a term I've never, out of all the people I talk to, I've never heard of the term mushrooming. What does that mean?
I think did I invent that then?
You might have. You said we're going to mushroom our Airbnbs, and I'm like, okay, is this like we're going to grow mushrooms in them, or what does this mean?
No, I think about mushrooms as just like, mushrooms can grow into areas that you already have. They just kind of big. And I think about, it's just perhaps it's not even the right way to describe it, but it's just kind of growing on what you already have.
Wow.
That's how I
love
say
that. The internet's gonna probably shred me apart and be like, "No, dude, that's a thing." But like, that's definitely something you invented for sure.
I don't know. It's just, yeah. It's, for us, it's like we just, this year felt really crazy, with all of these things, and it was like, what can we do to kind of love on what we already have? And the place, our other place in Lake Geneva, it's just a well-oiled machine. Again, I have a background in math. I look at a lot of things. What can we add to that to bring value? Not too much. It's kind of, it's cool where it's at. It's great. It's super successful. It's booked most of the time. It's good. And then also the same as, in Racine, it's the same thing. It's like we have this, they're great. I added a mural there. We also love to support local artists and local, any place that we have, we try to infuse as much with the local shops or local designers or local artists. So that it's funny. It used to be when you pull up through a parking garage and it was like this gray, bleak background, and you go into this door. It's like, what are you going into? It looked kind of scary. And Racine and those lofts are right on Lake Michigan. The lofts are like a block from Lake Michigan, but it's so beautiful. Like, Racine has the most beautiful beach, North Beach. It's so beautiful, and I've always loved seagulls. My mom used to read Jonathan Livingston Seagull to me, which is about this seagull who, is afraid to fly and ends up flying, and it's a beautiful story. So we have this big seagull mural on there, and I love that. It's every time I walk in, I have so much pride over creating beauty in a city that I love. So. So yeah, that was a long answer to mushrooms.
Sure, I love that though. So is your guys' eventual goal to own Lake Geneva, or what does that look like for you guys as crazy visionaries who are always looking to expand?
Yeah, it's funny. I'm not gonna get too much into this, but one of the crazy ideas. So at all of our properties, in Minocqua, when we're there, we always see a bald eagle. We saw these river otters. In Lake Geneva at our A-frame, there we see a peacock, there's deer, there's a raccoon, there's turkeys. Like, it's just feels like this magical animal sanctuary. And I had an idea of writing children's books because David's degree is actually in art, and with the peacock story, I had we have one written. So that's another idea. Like, we're gonna market and write books about all the characters at our Airbnbs. And that started from, I built this wildlife tracker in the apps. So I built apps for all of our short-term rentals. And, selfishly, I'm like, oh, if somebody sees a fox at the A-frame, I want to go check it out because I love animals. But nobody was using the wildlife tracker. Like, nobody's been using it. And I was like, oh, well, maybe they just want to, pin something on the wall instead. And fast forward to, David, I think we should write some children's books and market all these animals, and let's give them all a name. So we'll see about that. That might be something that we might get into. But yeah, that's something that we might try to.
So for somebody one of the things you talked about in the notes before the show is that you're a big picture thinker, creative problem solver, and that you've learned your success depends on surrounding yourself with people who thrive in areas you don't, right? So for
Yes.
someone that's so big picture, and you
Yes.
also sound like you're very detailed too, which I'm very big picture, not so much integrator detailed individual. So like, how important has been building a team around what you're doing in order to accomplish as much as you
I
have?
cannot. It, oh my gosh, that is everything.
Mm,
And David and I are very fortunate, and I get chills thinking about this. We have an amazing team surrounding us, and I am very detail oriented, but we had a book of checks here, like a big book that we just got because we were all out of checks. It's missing. We have no idea where it went. We have bills. We don't know where they go. So we recently hired an operations. I call her the vice president of operations, and she's so incredible, so like gets us so organized. And she's just supposed to start with the real estate. She's my operations manager or VP of operations. But David, he was in a band. You'll have to hear his story another time. But he gets these royalty checks. They're not much, but I found one in our car, and it was like coffee was spilled on it. There's no way this check is going to be able to be deposited. And I was like, we have to get, her name is Sace. It's like, we have to get Sace involved. So it's like, one thing that I have always been able to do is identify my weaknesses very well. I am a, I'm detailed in that I like when I build an app, everything is very detailed. I go down crazy rabbit holes, but I am not organized. I don't like to deal with permits. I don't like to, you know, just set things up. It's just, I want to be thinking, I want to always be thinking ahead. I don't want to be like, oh, I have to set up this department inspection. Um, and having all of these people, it's so important for us. We have so our cleaning team in Lake Geneva. Um, I got the sweetest note actually from her yesterday, and it was like, you have been such a blessing for me and the people in my life. You're the best person I've ever worked for, and it's finding those people who will be loyal to you, and we can ask them to do anything, which gives us flexibility. We have to go to Minocqua a lot. We'll go to Racine. If something happens in Lake Geneva, I know I can always call my cleaning manager. And then we had there was some messiness when we bought the building in Racine. We took over their cleaning team. They were being paid under the table. We don't pay under the table, and we had a mass exodus of the entire cleaning team walking out, and everybody from Lake Geneva just stepped up and went, drove an hour to Racine to clean. And it's now we've settled things, but and we have people in Racine, but it's just having that type of loyalty. The other thing is, we found these two women that we were using for the lodge. I have ideas on how I can picture exactly how I want things to look, but I need help, kind of getting to the finish line. Like I have 10 wallpapers that I love. I don't know which one I should pick. I don't know where it should go. So we were using a really big interior design company uh, for at first for the lodge, and I I they none of them had ever been to Wisconsin, and I really wanted the lodge to have there's this thing called Northwoods Magic, and I really wanted the lodge to have that Northwoods Magic, and they were just missing. We just kept missing, and I also wanted authenticity in there. So if there's a mount on the wall or a picture, I need to be able to see it somewhere in Minocqua. You know what I'm saying? So they were like, oh, okay, well, Wisconsin cows. they gave me a lot of pictures of Longhorn, Texas cows. And I was like, oh, those are not the right cows. And there's not a lot of cows in the Northwoods. So anyway, as I was searching for them, I was looking on Pinterest and I was like, oh my gosh, here's this woman. This is exactly what I want the lodge to look like. Oh my gosh, she's located in Minocqua. And I was like, I reached out to her and she was like, yeah, I don't really do that, but I'd definitely be interested. And now we have this team, Diana and Kristen, and they are the most amazing decorators. And, they're it's like the people who come to our team are like magically appear, and they're the most amazing people. So I think for us, it's recognizing what our weaknesses are. And then also, when I'm through the interview process, I'm very open. Like, I say like, all right, here's the thing. I'm not organized, and even in Lake Geneva, I'm like, what I need you to do is manage the calendar. I need you to manage what you order. Like, you are the cleaning manager for this place. I don't want to go into Amazon and order you dishwasher pods. I cannot keep inventory on this. That's just not anything that I need to do. So just setting those expectations from the beginning, and also giving them, a sense of ownership. We also try to be very generous. If any time that we hit Superhost, which is like a quarterly thing for Airbnb, everybody who's on our team gets a bonus. It's just a small little thing, surprise and delight moments where I think that helps them feel a sense of ownership too. Like, oh, okay, Superhost, it's coming July 1st. How am I cleaning well? Am I getting the right permits in place? So having that team, setting their expectations of what we need from them also helps.
Love it. Well, Amy, thanks for joining us today. If anyone wants to learn more about you and what you're working on, where should they go for that?
We have an Instagram page, Lake Life Getaways. You'll see all sorts of crazy adventures from, peacocks in the trees to otters in the North Woods. And you can see all of our fun and unique properties. That's probably the best place to go. We also have a YouTube channel, Lake Life Getaways. So.
Awesome. We'll go drop them a follow, y'all. And everybody, I hope you enjoyed today's show, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.